Hey folks, this is Mike from Artificial Antics. Tonight we're going to check out Runway Gen 3 Alpha. There's a review video that somebody did, which is great. His name is Curious Refuge. He's an AI filmmaker, and I think before that he was an actual filmmaker. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. There's about a couple of minutes that really where there's not much going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the highlights, his actual tests, and also some prompt tips for for folks that want to use Runway ML and their Gen 3 video. So we're going to go ahead and hit play here and give this a try.
Gen 3, and again, this is entirely just typing in a prompt and getting a result, and I think it looks really, really good. And we have the shot here of this campfire, and honestly, this is one of the best AI videos I have ever seen. The sparks coming from the fire, the smoke,
interesting
the
to
flames,
see people.
It looks very realistic, and I think at a quick glance, I would never notice that this was created using AI. There are a lot of great examples out there of Runway Gen 3 in action, but in this video, I really want to show you how to use this tool and how to properly prompt for this tool, because there's some specific ways that you need to interface with Runway Gen 3 to get the maximum quality, and it's not necessarily the same way that you would interface with Runway Gen 2. So let's take a look at the tool. To use Gen 3, all you have to do is go to the Runway website and click the Try Gen 3 Alpha button. Go ahead and click Get.
Yeah, I'm just going to pause here really quick. So again, Runway has released this. This was really hot probably about a month ago, and they've released the alpha to everyone. So this is something that you can go try today, folks. I will say that it can get expensive to play around with this. A few videos that I've looked at, they've spent $30, $40. They've got pretty okay results, but it can cost maybe $30, $40, $50 to make something really meaningful, which is honestly fine if you're looking at the prices of doing that with real talent and including camera people and everything else, right? This just saves an absolute ton of money for producers and directors and whatnot, people trying to make videos. But if you're just playing around at home, it might be a bit much. You might want to watch some of the review videos just so you get an understanding of what people are doing.
Started. So to prompt inside of Runway, you actually have to follow a specific format. There's a link below this video to a guide that goes into more detail about how to prompt, but essentially you have 3 different components that you should add to your prompt to get maximum quality. The first is the type of shot with a colon at the end. So for example, we can say a handheld shot. Next up, you need to reinforce the camera movement that you want to see along with the actual subject in action from the video. So for example, we have a handheld tracking shot of a man with a beer walking around a 4th of July party. And after that, you can add in your third element, which is any extra information that would be helpful for your scene. So for this one, I'm just going to say cinematic lighting. And you can go down here, you can change it from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, whatever you're looking for.
So this is a quick note. This is limited to 10-second clips. Sora, when it ever comes out, apparently you can do full-minute clips. So we'll see how that works in practice if OpenAI ever releases Sora. So again, just wanted to make a note, limited to 10-second clips in Gen 3.
And go ahead and click Generate. The generations are actually pretty darn quick, especially if you compare them to Luma. Inside of Runway Gen 3, it only takes 3 to 5 minutes to generate the video, whereas if you...
Luma AI is another product that just released their latest version of video generation. It's been pretty hot. I think that one is limited to 5 seconds. And I believe this guy even goes through Luma a little bit later on in the video. Maybe we'll catch some of that.
If you use other tools like Luma, sometimes it can take multiple hours. So let's take a look at our shot here. So we have a handheld tracking shot of a man with a beer at a 4th of July party. This is shot number 1. You can see he's kind of walking around with sparklers and
Got sparklers, got some
chaos
bottles, got like
all around him, but it looks
some
pretty
crazy
fun. Next up,
like
we
a
have
beer,
this shot
looks
here.
like a beer
So it's
cup
this guy,
and
it
a
looks like his
sparkler at the
decorations
same
are on
time.
fire. That woman's wearing an American flag.
Oh, look
and,
at that! It
he's
morphed.
just like having a good time, walking around, dancing with this other person, walking to the grill. So lots of hallucinations there, but
The
it
roof's
looks
on
pretty
fire.
good. And then finally, we have this shot here of this man walking around, and his beer turns into a sparkler. And then he just takes a sip of the sparkler that magically turns into a beer.
Actually, it's kind
So
of a
as you
sweet
can see,
transition,
it's
like
not
accidental,
perfect.
happy
so
little
there's a long
accidents,
way to
right?
go, even with the advanced technology inside of Runway Gen 3. But the physics, the continuity, the stability is so much better than what we had just a year ago. So I definitely recommend playing around with this tool. So Runway says that you can actually go in and prompt to change the camera angle of your scene. So for example, we can say a high angle shot and then a high angle shot with the exact same prompt at the end. I was curious, and so I went in and prompted in a lot of different angles, and so I was really curious to see what the results are.
Speaking
so,
of video,
for
I've got a
example, we
second
have
camera
a high
this
angle
week,
shot
so
here, and
let me know what you think of that. I'm gonna give a couple of angles. We'll see which one's better, and we'll see what happens there. So
you can see I don't think it really did a good job at the high angle, but actually him drinking the beer is pretty good. But I'm really concerned with the fires going on at this 4th of July party. Looks like something is on
Smokey the
fire.
Bear
Looks like
would
the
not
picnic
be
table is
happy
on fire in this scene
at this party,
so
for sure.
that's not great. We also have this over-the-shoulder shot here. You can see we have this guy kind of walking around, and it does transition into an over-the-shoulder shot, and his beer has turned into a sparkler, and chaos ensues. We also have this overhead shot. You can see that's a little higher. And this guy is just walking around with a beer / sparkler at a 4th of July party. All right. And we have this snorri cam shot with this guy, and I think he's like chewing on some straws, and it just kind of turns into a sparkler there at the end. And then he drinks it,
It's
and
magic,
it turns into beer
folks.
right before
Oh,
the
it's
sparkler burns in, which
magic.
is fantastic. And we have this shot here,
cigarette
a
or a
wide angle
marshmallow or
shot
something.
of
That
this
was
guy
crazy.
walking
Maybe
around
some
a party. Actually, this one looked pretty good. It actually had physics in the beer.
Yeah.
There's just like sparklers and like a dumpster fire going on. So, a really exciting party going on. And we actually did the same thing in Luma. I wanted to prompt a 4th of July
All right,
scene.
so here's
This is
gonna
what was
actually check
created.
out Luma.
So again,
this
a
is-
much
this is cool.
shorter scene. It does seem like the physics look pretty good, but the warping on the faces and just kind of the changes that happen to the subject.
Yeah, like it's super
are really
blurry.
more pronounced with Luma.
I think this is
And
actually a
speaking of
better
Luma, let's take a look
better
at
scene.
a quick comparison.
I think that's a better scene overall, actually. But the quality of it just looks a little odd, right? Like you said, warped faces and things are meshing into one another, especially in the faces, which I think is like the last place you really want that to happen. If anybody's seen the Fresh Prince eating noodles, those are the kind of things that give people nightmares. So
Between Luma and Runway. So I prompted for a comet heading for Earth, and this is the example we have here. I don't think the fire is quite realistic. And here's the example we have from Runway. It looks like basically the atmosphere is on fire, which is not great. I take it that this takes place in Texas right about now because it's super hot down there. We also prompted for a outdoor campfire, and here's the result. It looks pretty darn good. And
Yeah, that
again,
looks
the
pretty
same
good.
shot that we had earlier from Runway Gen
And that
3.
runway, the skyline
I
and
actually think that
everything is
Runway
so
really knocked this one out of the park.
crystal clear.
We also have a long lens shot of a car on fire. This is the example from Luma. Really dynamic movements. Looks fantastic.
Wow, that is super cool. Oh my gosh, I think about the stuff that you could do with this with enough time and money.
And then we have this shot from Runway. The car looks a little funny,
It's a very long car.
but the smoke simulation, the fire, looks pretty darn good. We also have a nuclear explosion,
Little
and
Oppenheimer
this
moment here.
result from Luma is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say it's realistic. It's not really cinematic. I would say that it's more of like a 3D animation. But when we compare that to Runway, we have this kind of a nuclear shot, and then it just turns into like a volcano with like a smokestack. So not a great job from Runway. Now, I should note that Runway Gen 3 doesn't give you the ability to upload an image just yet. And that's a pretty big deal because having the ability to upload an image allows you to control the outputs and ultimately have more consistency in your.
Yeah, guiding the video generation with an image and text is really going to be key to getting things the way that you want them. So similar to how other tools that text to image tools, like let's say Midjourney, where you can use an image as well, or up to 3 images as an additional seed, just to give Midjourney an idea of what you want to do. I believe Runway Gen 2 allows you to do that.
Film. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say that we're working on a film about the Revolutionary War, and I have this idea for this cinematic aesthetic. It's kind of dark, high budget style that looks like this image here. And let's say we have this image as well. Well, if I use Runway Gen 3 to produce these results, because I can't upload an image, I can only type in a prompt. So for example, a cinematic shot of a British soldier walking around Boston in the 1770s, and so on and so forth. And the results from Runway will look like this. For example, we have the shot here, and I'm pretty sure that might be a World War II German, if I'm not mistaken. So it doesn't actually look like a British officer. And we have this shot here. The hat is all wrong. There's just different eras of people walking around. And the background, I'm guessing that's like Paris or something, not necessarily Boston. And then we have this shot here, which again, the hat isn't quite right. You can tell that it's pulling from a lot of World War II reference video. And so it's not quite right. There is an American flag, but again, the American flag would have been around back then.
Wow, the
so
guy in front
it
of
just
him
contextually
has horse
doesn't really
legs.
understand
Or no, I guess
what's
he's
happening.
on a horse.
Now,
I don't know, that looked really
inside
weird.
of Luma,
Looked like
we
a
have the
centaur
ability
for
to
a second.
upload an image, and we got this result. So the resolution's a little soft, but
That's
it actually
actually
does
really
look pretty
good
darn
based
good.
on his image.
And then
Jeez.
the other shot here, we have the shot of this man looking around. So it just kind of pans around to some of the different characters inside of our scene. But again, Runway Gen 3 is incredible, and I highly recommend checking it out.
Awesome. Thank you for watching, folks. If you like what we're doing here, like and subscribe to the channel. We also have the AI Bytes newsletter. You could hit us up on that. It's news.antics.tv. And that's just a really quick way to get there. Subscribe to the newsletter. We release that each Monday night, and the next one is coming up. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you back in the lab very soon, folks.